I thought you did a great job.
Thanks.
Nice going hot and breezy, too.
All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Hamilton Township Regular Council meeting for September 15th. This meeting is being held with the benefit of public notice as required by the Open Public Meetings Act. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Mr. Whalen?
Here.
Mr. Caravelli?
Here.
Ms. Phillips? Here. Mr. Papero?
Here.
Mr. Todd?
Here. Are all our mics registering? All right. I heard Anthony's more clearly in going through the PA in the room than the rest of ours, but, all right, good enough. So with that said, Councilman Papero, would you lead us in the flags?
Yes. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Councilman Caravelli, would you lead us in the invocation?
Dear God, please guide this council body to serve the people of this township with compassion and humility. We know that we are far from perfect. Be our moral compass and diminish the unnecessary distractions that creep into our daily lives. May we also be thankful and look to spread your many examples of mercy, generosity, and love in all that we do. You are our light and salvation, and to your name we honor forever. Amen.
Okay, and we've had a few additions to the agenda. So, Madam Deputy Clerk Allison, would you go ahead? I know you wanted to review those with us just to make sure.
Yes, I just wanted to make sure that you all had resolutions 12, 13, and 14. There are 2 contracts and an agreement for the redevelopment.
I see 12 and 13.
14 should already be in your agenda packet. The title was mistakenly left off the agenda. I had sent that in an email.
Yes.
You see that? Okay.
Yes.
And then if we move on to ordinances, we have the addition of 20-049 and 050.
Yes.
And the only other change, which the titles were already on your agenda, but as liquor licenses continue to renew during the course of the day, I did change my original document to encompass all the licensees. And
Okay.
also
Which item is that?
that would be C18 and CA19 on consent for the liquor licenses.
Okay. Everybody see that?
Yes.
And just in the very beginning, my mistake on the executive session, which I gave you a copy of the resolution and highlighted.
All right, so we have the updated agenda. Were we able to post this for the public on the website? Did we have time to do that?
The most recent, no, I did not.
Okay. So I'll just make sure as we're going through that folks know when we're touching on something. So if you'll just remind me, if you
Absolutely.
don't mind, and we'll just, that way everybody can follow along. And with that,
Yeah.
first up is a resolution to go into executive session. We do have a settlement that the township wants to talk to us about. So do I have a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
I'll second that.
Council President, just for the record, for the resolution, we should indicate the reason for the executive session.
I highlighted that on your resolution copy. What is it for?
Well, we have the
And
legal
we
settlement.
also have that, we have that settlement for discussing just in terms of the why and how. So that's the settlement, administrative client privilege. And then the other matter is buying property. That's also needs to be done in executive session before you go forward.
which is,
5 and 9.
5 and 9 on your resolution.
5 and 9.
Yes.
Right, so number 5 for the public, it's matters related to the purchase, lease, or acquisition of real property in the
Understood.
public funds.
Yes.
Okay?
So points 5 and point 9 are the reasons that we're going into executive session.
Which is
To
moved
talk
by
about
Mr. Caparo.
the purchase of real estate, which is also going to be reflected in our ordinances tonight. And then 9 is the litigation.
Correct.
Okay. So we've had a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
I'm sorry, Mr. Carabelli, was that your second?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. The time is now 6:35.
I have 6:38.
Okey dokey. No.
Eileen, do we need a motion to
Come back in?
come back in?
Yep.
Okay, we are back from executive session. Madam Clerk, did you say we need a motion to come back in? to
Yes.
Public session?
Yeah.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion to, return to, our, regularly scheduled council meeting.
A second motion.
Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Whalen?
Here.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Mr. Whalen, you meant yes, correct? Supposed to. Thank you. I love you. Ms. Phillips? Yes. Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
5-0. Motion.
Okay. And now we'll move on to communication.
Under Communications 1A is Robbinsville Hamilton Rotary Club requesting permission to conduct a food drive for the Mercer Street Friends Food Bank to be held on Foley's Family Market located at 1080 White Horse Mercerville Road on Saturday, October 3rd, 2020, from the hours of 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
So, food bank, they're gonna be soliciting donations out front?
Mhm.
Is that the idea?
Yes.
Okay. Any concerns about social distancing?
No, I'm sure that they will be taking all the necessary CDC precautions.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion on communication C1.
Council President, I move on communication C1.
I'll second that motion.
Adler?
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips? Yes. Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0.
Now we'll move on to the consent agenda.
For the consent agenda, we have items CA1 through CA19 for your consideration.
And we'll start with council. Does anybody have any questions or comments regarding the consent agenda items?
No.
We have water pollution control, refund of fees, which we've been seeing a lot of with COVID. All right, so if there's no council comment, we'll go ahead and open it up to the public at this time.
Q&A session has started.
Are we live? Okay. All right, so anybody who wants to comment can hit *6, any members of the public? On any consent agenda items. We have a lot of tax sales. We are going into a contract to print the municipal calendar. Okay. All right, extension 4777, you are live. Could you go ahead and tell us your name and your address, please?
Hello, my name is Raphael Cruz, I'm a taxpayer that is not County Council. I'm asking a question about
Now's not the time for that, Raphael. You're welcome to address that when we get to, public comment. So if you look at your, agenda, we have comments from the public after we get through our ordinances, and at that time, you're free to, discuss any topic you want with us. But in the meantime, we ask that you, limit your comments to the agenda items that we're considering at the moment. And right now, those are consent agenda items CA1 through CA19.
Understood. Can I hold my comment until for the end of the session?
You sure can. We'll look forward to hearing from you at that time.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks. All right, so seeing no one else from the public wishing to comment on the consent agenda, I'll entertain a motion.
Council President, I'll make a motion to move on consent agenda CA1 through CA19.
I'll second that.
Madam Clerk? Madam Clerk?
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips? Yes. Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Consent agenda passes 5-0. Moving on to resolutions. Resolution 1 is a resolution consenting to the appointment of Cashel Darvis to the Municipal Alliance Committee on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse as the mayor's designee.
So on Resolution 1, I've been informed that we don't actually need to vote on this because the mayor's designee is the mayor's designee. Anybody else on the board would be advised and consent, but this one is the mayor's choice. And I'll just say that I think Cashel Darvis is a great choice, and I'd like to thank Cashel for her service on the Municipal Drug Alliance and congratulate her for her selection by the mayor.
Council President, could we get a motion to formally remove that from the agenda?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to remove, Resolution 1 on, is it 1?
Yep.
Yeah, 1 on our agenda this evening.
And I'll second that motion.
Madam Clerk?
On the motion?
Oh, do we need to allow public comments since we're removing it, or,
Not for the removal.
okay.
Am I correct, Elise?
I think that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, we're removing it, we're not actually,
No, acting on it.
You're not
we're not
asking.
actually acting on it. Okay.
Okay. On the motion, Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips? Yes. Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
For the removal, 5-0. Resolution 2 is a resolution approving the second and final extension to the contract 16-437 for snow removal services and spreading of de-icing chemicals with Wrestling Paving and Concrete for Section K, Ted Dulce, Inc., for Snow Section M, Grass Paving Company, Snow Section J, L, N, O. The combined shared maximum of $185,852.
Any comment from members of council? Seeing none, I'll go ahead and open it up to the public. So the line is open for anybody wishing to comment on resolution 2. So the line is open for anyone wishing to comment on resolution 2. It appears there are no members of the public wishing to comment. So I will entertain a motion to close the public comment portion and move the resolution.
Mr. President, I make a motion to close the public comment portion and move resolution number 2.
I'll second it.
Madam Clerk? Forget. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Resolution 3 is a resolution approving extension number 4 to contract 16-300 for the maintenance and repair of the water pollution controls treatment plant and pump station heavy mechanical equipment with GMH Associates of America, Inc., Shafts and Sleeves Company Incorporated, AC Schultz, Inc., KRS Services, Inc., Rapid Pump and Meter Service Company, Inc., and Municipal Maintenance Company. The amount of $500,000 combined shared maximum.
Any members of council have any questions or comments on resolution number 3?
Yeah, quickly, Eileen. Is this the final, or is this the fourth one? There'll be one more after this?
This is fourth and
This is
final.
fourth and final? Okay.
Someone like the second to last page in the back.
Yeah, Barney?
It's about halfway through in the back of the material.
Okay. Thanks, Matt.
So, council has been requested. And if no one else from council has any questions or comments, we'll go ahead and open it up to the public.
Q&A session has started.
We're good? All right, so the line is open to the public on resolution 3. Any members of the public wishing to comment can hit star 6. All right, it appears that no members of the public have any questions or comments regarding resolution number 3, so I'll entertain a motion.
Yes, Council President, I move to close the public comment portion and move on resolution 3.
I'll second the motion.
Q&A session is over.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Breland.
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli.
Yes.
Ms. Phillips. Yes. Mr. Reparo.
Yes.
Mr. Ty.
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Resolution 4 is a resolution authorizing a 3-year agreement with LexisNexis CopLogic Solutions, Inc. This is LexisNexis Claim Solutions, Inc. for software services for electronic ticket services and electronic police record portal services for the Division of Police.
So this is a technology upgrade that was requested. And any questions or comments? Yes.
Council President, I just want to make a correction to the title, please, because we did have to change it at the last minute. The title should actually read, Resolution Authorizing a 3-Year Agreement and Addendum with LexisNexis CopLogic Solutions, Inc., LexisNexis Claim Solutions, Inc., online service for electronic crash reporting and e-commerce services for the Division of Police is the correct title.
Hold on a minute. Can you read that again? I'm sorry.
It's a tongue twister, that's why. Resolution establishing a 3-year agreement and addendum with LexisNexis CopLogic Solutions, Inc., LexisNexis Claim Solutions, Inc., online services for electronic crash reporting and e-commerce services for the Division of Police.
Okay.
Can you clarify that further? No, I'm joking. Poor Eileen.
Oh, and actually, we do have it correctly,
I'm sure the resolution reflects, okay.
yeah, in the back of the material we have it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's- That had
On the
changed so many
resolution
times.
itself, it's, okay. So we don't need to amend this.
No, we'll correct the resolution title on the agenda, but we've read it into the record, so we should be just fine.
All right. Any questions or comments from council?
No, sir.
We'll go ahead and open it up to the public.
Q&A session has started.
All right. Any members of the public wishing to comment on resolution 4 can hit star 6.
Nobody?
It appears no members of the public wish to comment, so I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to close public comment and move on resolution, number 4.
I'll second resolution number 4.
We got someone, we'll go ahead and give them. the opportunity. That's fine. Okay. She live? Lisa, hello. Can you hear me, Lisa? Lisa? Says her line is live. We can't hear you, Lisa. I don't know if you can. All right. There we go.
There you go.
Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa Williams from Hamilton. My question on this is just, what is the cost of this later? There's another application.
It's 0.
0. 0 cost. Yep. All right, so seeing no other members of the public wish to comment, I will entertain a motion.
No, the motion was made.
Yeah, motion and second was made.
Oh, that's true,
Phillips and
right,
Mr.
but then we're still, okay. So let's go ahead and close out the,
Q&A session is over.
all right.
On the motion, Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Mrs. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Farrell?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Resolution 5 is a resolution authorizing the settlement of certain litigation. Lilas Borsa, Mark Van Wagner, Terry Pfeiffer, v. Mayor Kelly Yeady, individually and as Mayor of Hamilton Township. Civil action number 3:19-CB/00081-BRM-TJB in the amount of $40,000.
So we discussed this in executive session. Does our town attorney want to make any public comment on that at all? If you wish.
Without revealing any attorney-client privilege, by virtue of the fact that it's on the agenda, I think you know where I stand on this. If it wasn't on the agenda, you would also know where I stand on this.
Okay. Okay. All right, so unless any members of council wish to comment, we'll go ahead and open it up to the public. And the lines are open, and we have, I'm sorry? Janice Galanick. Hello, Janice, can you hear me? Can we there we go.
Does this have to do with the Facebook thing?
Yes.
How the Facebook that she removed it?
Well, it was a Kelly Yeady Facebook page, which the argument was she was using it for governmental purposes and therefore should not be censoring comment by members of the public because it was being used for public purposes. So that was the gist of it, and we are settling it, as you can see, for $40,000.
Who gets the $40,000? Mark and,
No. The plaintiffs don't see a penny of that. It all goes to their attorneys.
Really?
Yep.
Okay, must be nice to be an attorney.
All right. Are you still there, Janice? You kind of, okay. Was there any other comment on resolution?
The story is what it was and where the money was going. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, it appears that no other members of the public wish to comment, so I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to close the public comment portion and move resolution number 5.
Second motion.
Q&A session is over.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Resolution 6 is a resolution establishing a 5-year contract for the purchase of public safety video surveillance, body-worn cameras, in-car cameras, and video cameras for interview in DWI rooms with Axon by use of Sourcewell National Pricing System contract. Total contract amount $918,584.42 maximum.
And once again, this is an upgrade to the technology that our police department is currently using and will certainly assist us in providing transparency to the public in the operations of our police department. Do any members of the public wish to comment? It appears that no members of council wish to comment, so we'll go ahead and open it up to the public. Did I say public? Did you want to comment? Okay, all right. All right, so the line is open to the public. If you want to comment, you can hit *6. Appears that no members of the public wish to comment on Resolution 6. How many members of the public do we have in the meeting today? Okay. Okay. Actually relatively small. All right, so I'll entertain a motion
I'll
to...
make a motion to close the public comment portion and move resolution number 6.
I'll second that.
Q&A session is over.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Resolution 7 is a resolution authorizing an amendment to contract 20-353, corporate name change with Fairview Insurance Agency Associates, Inc. to Foundation Risk Partners doing business as Fairview Insurance Agency Associates for a 16-month contract for health broker services in the amount of $102,000 maximum.
Does our business administrator wish to make any comment regarding, Kathy, did you want to say anything about the health services contract, or does it speak for itself?
This is just me.
Just,
Oh, this is just...
yeah, the name was just changed, right? That's,
Oh, right.
Right.
Fairview is changing the name.
This is a new company for us this year, that it was awarded this year new, but they had a name change once we went through that process and awarded it. So that's all this is right now.
Okay. Any members of council wish to comment? Seeing none, we can go ahead and open it up to the public on Resolution 7.
Q&A session has started.
All right, the line is open on Resolution 7. Give the members of the public a moment. And it appears that no members of the public wish to comment, so I will entertain a motion.
Yes, Council President, I'd like to make a motion to close the public comment portion of resolution number 7 and move it.
I'll second the motion.
Q&A session is over.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Resolution 8, a resolution authorizing the refund of 2020 real estate in 2016 through 2019 sewer tax overpayments and refunds in the amount of $55,602.08.
Okay, and there are several pages of sewer tax overpayment refunds, the largest being $6,600. And if no members of the public wish to, if no members of council wish to comment, we'll go ahead and open this to the public on Resolution 8.
The music group was going to say, if you ask a question, please press star six.
Yeah. So we hear music so that we know we shouldn't talk over that. I got you. But now we're live again. So we're having this conversation live on the, so any members of the public who wish to, comment, can hit star six on resolution 8. And they've had a moment, and it appears that no members of the public wish to comment. So I'll entertain a motion.
Council President, I'd like to make a motion to close public comment and move on resolution number 8.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Q&A session is over.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Resolution 9 is resolution authorizing the proper officials of the Township of Hamilton to make application and execute the associated installation and repayment agreements for participation in the PSE&G Direct Install Program.
Any members of council wishing to comment?
I'd just like to say that I think that this is a worthwhile investment. I guess within, I'm calculating this correctly, within 2.5 years, we will have paid off in the savings, the savings that we will reap from this investment in energy savings, we will be able to pay off whatever upfront cost of 30% that we would have to pay. That's the way I understood it when I was looking.
You're looking at the lawyer, and that's never a good idea to ask her that question.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You are correct on that. Because we're able to do these efficiency upgrades, and we pay only a portion of it, and we're allowed to, of course, pay that up front, or we can pay it out as we go along, just it gets added to our energy bill. So, which we will probably do that way. And then we will have made back our savings, though, within the 2.5 years. So
Okay.
it's well worth it. It's over $200,000 worth of efficiency upgrades, and it's, you know, it's a good thing to do for the environment and for our budget. So
Great. Thank you, Ken.
And those will be at several of our public buildings. So $200,000 worth of upgrades, and we'll pay about 60. Is that
that's correct.
great? Great.
This might seem like a silly question. And you see it happening all over, right? School systems adopt these type of programs, right, for energy efficiency. Hamilton Township has, what, 20, the school system has 20-some buildings, and they use the same program. How many guarantees, Gavin, as far as the savings go? And if they don't meet the criteria, the savings, do we recoup anything?
So, no, that's a great question. So the savings are certainly estimated, but they've done this program for a number of years, and so just the particular upgrades that they're making, they can pretty well calculate what the savings are going to be pretty accurately based on what our bills have been versus, so most of them are HVAC type upgrades and that type of thing. So they have formulas and a calculation that they can pretty much tell the efficiencies that we're going to gain from this upgrade.
The key word is estimate.
I totally understand about the estimates.
It is.
Probably as well as
And then what else?
Well, just a question on it, that's all it was.
All right. Do any other members of council have questions or comments on resolution 9?
I would just add to that, I think when you look at the buildings that are going to be upgraded, these are buildings that are, you know, some pretty old, very old systems, so.
Yeah. Try to, the home bill. Oh, is that called the home bill center? Okay. Well, with that, we will go ahead and open it up to the public.
Q&A session has started.
We're live. Okay. We'll just give the public a moment to hit *6 if they wish to comment on Resolution 9. And it appears that no members of the public wish to comment, so I will entertain a motion.
Make a motion to close the public comment portion and move resolution number 9.
I'll second that.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Resolution 10, resolution authorizing an agreement for professional services with Roberts Engineering Group LLC for survey markout services for Hamilton Township wastewater utility sanitary sewer force mains for the period of September 16, 2020 to September 15, 2021, in the amount of $116,225 maximum.
Any members of council with questions or comments on Resolution 10? Appears that no members of council wish to comment, so why don't we go ahead and open it up to the public?
Q&A session has started.
And the line is open to the public for any questions or comments on Resolution 10. An agreement for professional services with an engineering group. And it appears that no members of the public wish to comment, so I'll go ahead and entertain the motion.
I'll make a motion, Council President, to close the public comment portion and move Resolution 10.
Second motion.
Q&A session is over.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips? Yes. Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Resolution 11, resolution authorizing the proper officials of the Township of Hamilton to execute an application for funding municipal alliances to the State of New Jersey Governor's Council on alcoholism and drug abuse for the Hamilton Township Municipal Alliance Committee on alcoholism and drug abuse for the fiscal grant year October 1 to 2020 through June 30th, 2021, fiscal year 21, and rescinding resolution number 19-354.
And we expect to be allocated $16,190 as a result of this application.
Yes, 16,190.
I just have a quick, that's a significant drop from the previous year, correct? And what was the reasoning for that? Just the calculation that they did was,
Well, first, I think the year was shorter because the budget had been expanded for a quarter, but that being said, because of COVID, we're seeing that in a number of these grants and other monies that have been given, so they're really reducing them because they either don't have the funds to give out or they focus it on some other program. So in this instance, they just don't have the funds available to do that.
okay.
So we're going to have to look at our programs too and probably revamp some things.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any members have an additional question or comment? We'll go ahead and open it up to the public.
Q&A session has started.
The line is now open to members of the public on Resolution 11. And it appears that no members of the public wish to comment on Resolution 11. So I will entertain a motion.
Council President, I move to close the public portion of Resolution 11 and move on it.
I'll second the motion.
Q&A session is over.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips? Yes. Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Resolution 12, now this is one of the resolutions that the public does not see on their agenda. Resolution authorizing a non-fair and open professional services agreement with Abruzzi, McDermott, Mastro, Murphy, PC to serve as special projects attorney for the Township of Hamilton with regards to pension matters in the amount of $15,000.
And this is related to, all right, so I'm limited as to the explanation that I can give. We are currently, is it litigation or is it,
Right now, we are not in litigation yet.
we're in a negotiation?
We are in
with the
negotiation,
state?
we are trying to, we're about to appeal, we're trying to clarify a mistaken understanding by the pension board with regard to one of our employees. So we're in the process now of trying to explain to them what actually happened and why they misunderstood what happened, and if we have to appeal to a higher level, we will.
Okay, and it's,
Right, and also the next resolution, we have there's two resolutions back to back. There's two separate law firms, one to represent the employee and one to represent the township.
and we're paying for both.
Correct.
And the reason that we are doing this as a non-fair and open process is the two reasons that I understand are, one, because of the time-sensitive nature of this matter, and two, because this is a specialty that not a lot of lawyers specialize in.
Correct.
Are there any other reasons that we're doing this in this?
No, we are already reacting, and so we received a letter this summer, and we have time dates that we have to respond by, and some have already happened, and some are happening already as we speak. So it's very fast, and there's not a lot of lawyers in New Jersey who appear before the pension board.
Okay. Any other questions or comments from members of council on that? Seeing none, why don't we open it up to the public?
Q&A session has started.
And just to remind everybody, it's a $15,000 maximum on this
Correct.
contract. You expect that to cover it? Obviously, you would ask for more if you needed it.
Right.
And we have no one in the queue. So it appears that no members of the public wish to comment, so I will entertain a motion.
Council President, I'd like to make a motion to close public comment and move on Resolution 13.
12.
Oh, I'm sorry, 12. You might be able to do that.
I'll second that.
Q&A session is over.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Resolution 13 is another resolution that does not appear on the public's agenda. Resolution authorizing a non-fair and open professional services agreement with Locke, Korea, Koski, LLC to serve as special projects attorney for the Township of Hamilton with regards to pension matters in the amount of $15,000 maximum.
What's wrong?
No, I just can't say the words tonight, apparently.
You got it out well enough. So, this is regarding the same matter. This is, this particular attorney listed in this resolution is for our employee. The first attorneys were actually for the township, although we're paying for both with regards to those pension matters. And unless any members of council wish to comment, I will go ahead and open it up to members of the public on Resolution 13.
Q&A session has started.
All right, and the line is open for any members of the public who wish to comment on Resolution 13. And it appears that no members of the public wish to comment on Resolution 13, so I will entertain a motion.
Make a motion to close the public comment portion and move resolution number 13.
I'll second that.
Q&A session is over.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips? Yes. Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Resolution 14 is a resolution of the Township of Hamilton, County of Mercer, New Jersey, authorizing the execution of a redevelopment agreement with 2018 South Broad 2018 South Broad Hamilton LLC, and the Township of Hamilton, and designating 2018 South Broad Hamilton LLC as a redeveloper.
Any questions or comments from council on Resolution 14? Seeing no members of council wishing to comment, just a word of explanation. This is the property adjacent to the White Horse Circle, which has the property immediately adjacent to the circle has been vacant for decades. So there is a redevelopment plan in place. So let's go ahead and open it up to members of the public.
Q&A session has started.
And the line is open. Any members of the public wishing to comment or ask a question on Resolution 14 can hit *6 at this time. And it appears that no members of the public wish to comment on Resolution 14, so I will go ahead and entertain a motion.
Council President, I'll make a motion to close the public comment portion and move resolution 14.
I second the motion.
Q&A session is over.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips? Yes. Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Moving on to ordinances. This is second reading and public hearing ordinances. Ordinance number 1 is known as ordinance 20-041, an ordinance amending and supplementing an ordinance fixing the salaries and other compensation of the officials and employees of the Township of Hamilton in the County of Mercer and State of New Jersey. This is for the Office of the Municipal Public Defender.
And the reason that we're doing this is because of the workload that we are assigning to this particular employee. So we want to bring the compensation in line with the amount of work that they're doing. I believe they're covering more court sessions.
2 extra sessions.
2 extra sessions. Okay. So with that, unless any members of council want to comment, did the township attorney have anything they wanted to say on this?
No, I think everything was clearly put on for the record.
So with that, we'll open it up to the public.
Q&A session has started.
All right, so the line is open to any members of the public wishing to comment on ordinance 20-041, fixing the salaries for the assistant municipal public defender. And it appears that no members of the public wish to comment, so I'll entertain a motion to close public comment.
Yes, Council President, I move to close the public portion, comment on ordinance number 1 and move ordinance number 20-041.
I'll second the motion.
Madam Clerk.
Session is over.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Ordinance passes 5-0. Ordinance 2, which is also known as ordinance 20-042, is an ordinance amending and supplementing the Code of the Township of Hamilton, New Jersey, Chapter 485, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 2, Parking, Section 485-19, Handicap Parking. This is to establish a space for 132 Overlook Avenue. Second reading and public hearing.
If no members of council wish to comment on this handicap parking ordinance, I'll go ahead and open it up to the public.
Q&A session has started.
And if any members of the public wish to comment, you can hit *6. Now would be the time. On ordinance 20-042 on second reading. And it appears that no one wishes to comment on this particular ordinance, so I will entertain a motion.
Council President, I'd like to make a motion to close public comment and move on ordinance 20-042.
I'll second it.
Q&A session is over.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips? Yes. Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Ordinance 3, also known as ordinance 20-043, is an ordinance amending and supplementing the Code of the Township of Hamilton, New Jersey, Chapter 5, Administration of Government, Part 4, Departments, Article 15, Department of Health, Recreation, Senior and Veteran Services, Section 5-81, Animal Control.
And we are just updating our definition of a Hamilton Township Animal Control Officer with this ordinance to bring it into compliance with state law. And the way this is now going to be worded will allow us to remain compliant in perpetuity. So if no members of council wish to comment on that, we'll go ahead and open it up to the public.
Q&A session has started.
All right, and the line is open for anyone wishing to comment on ordinance 20-043. Looks like the queue is empty. And since it appears that no members of the public wish to comment, I will entertain a motion.
Mr. President, I move to close the public hearing and adopt ordinance number 20-043 on second reading.
I'll second it.
Q&A session is over.
Madam Clerk.
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips? Yes. Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Ordinance 4, also known as 20-044, an ordinance amending and supplementing the Code of the Code of Ordinances, Hamilton Township, New Jersey, Part 2, General Legislation, Chapter 215B, Section 215-6, Department of Health, Recreation, Senior and Veteran Services.
Now, okay, so we have amended this since first reading. We did add some language to the paragraph regarding the owner surrender fee of $100. And we did add language to say that this fee may be waived due to hardship at the discretion of the Director of Health, Recreation, Senior and Veteran Services. So, Madam Clerk, because we have amended that, you were suggesting that we have
A formal motion to amend the ordinance. You'll pass that, and then we will re-advertise the amended ordinance, and then we'll have the second and final hearing at the next council meeting of October.
Okay, so I will entertain a motion to amend the ordinance.
Council President, I'll make a motion to amend ordinance number 20-044, as mentioned.
I'll second the motion.
And Madam Clerk?
On the amendment, Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips? Yes. Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
The amendment passes 5-0.
Very good, and just so the public is clear, we are going to bring that back for public discussion and a final vote next, at the next meeting.
Correct. Council President, the following ordinances are first reading and introduction only. There's no public comment. Ordinance 1, 20-045, ordinance amending and supplementing the Code of Township of Hamilton, New Jersey, Chapter 485, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 2, Parking, Section 485-19, Handicap Parking. This is to repeal spaces established at 605 Berg Avenue by ordinance number 07-030 and 613 Berg Avenue by ordinance number 06-039.
I'll entertain a motion.
Yes, Council President, I move for first reading ordinance number 20-045.
And I'll second the motion.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Ordinance 2 is ordinance 20-046, an ordinance amending and supplementing the Code of the Township of Hamilton, New Jersey, Chapter 485, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 2, Parking, Section 485-19, Handicap Parking. This is to establish a space for 645 Berg Avenue and 1323 William Street.
I'll entertain a motion.
Council President, I'll make a motion to move on first reading and introduction, ordinance 20-046.
I'll second that.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Ordinance 3 is 20-047, an ordinance amending and supplementing the Code of the Township of Hamilton, New Jersey, Part 3, Land Use Legislation, Chapter 550, Land Development, Article 4, General Regulations and Design Standards, Section 550-124, signs.
I'll entertain a motion.
I move to introduce ordinance number 20-047 on first reading.
I'll second that.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips? Yes. Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. With regard to the previous ordinance, we now have a resolution referring the proposed amendments to the Code of the Township of Hamilton, New Jersey, Part 3, Land Use Legislation, Chapter 550, Land Development, Article 4, General Regulations and Design Standards, Section 550-124, signs, to the Hamilton Township Planning Board for review pursuant to NJSA: 40:55D-26.
Now, we aren't referring that until we pass this on second reading. Is that
No,
correct?
you're going to refer it to the planning board now. They'll report back to the governing body, and then you'll place it on your agenda for second reading based
Okay.
upon their review.
All right, then I will entertain a motion on that resolution.
Council President, I'll make a motion to move resolution referring the proposed amendments to the planning board.
I second the motion.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips? Yes. Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Ordinance 4 is ordinance 20-048, an ordinance adopting a redevelopment plan for an area in need of redevelopment pursuant to NJSA 40A:12A-1 HEPSEC for Patterson Avenue Landfill Redevelopment Zone, known as Block 2154, Lot 12.01.
I will entertain a motion on that ordinance.
Yes, Council President, I move on first reading introduction of ordinance number 20-049.
048.
My apologies.
I second that motion.
Yeah, I took it down.
48.
48.
48.
48, we're at 48.
Yeah, I move the resolution to the planning board. And then.
Yeah, we were at 47 twice,
Okay.
so now we're at 48.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so we have a motion and we need a second.
I second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk?
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips?
Yes.
Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Council President, this is a title that does not appear on the audience's agenda. It's ordinance 5, known as 20-049, a bond ordinance of the Township of Hamilton and the County of Mercer, New Jersey, providing for the acquisition of property at 1750 White Horse Mercerville Road, and by the Township of Hamilton appropriating $750,000 therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $712,500 in general improvement bonds or notes of the Township of Hamilton to finance the same.
Okay. It's first reading. We are going to discuss this at our next meeting in detail, so, this is, just for the public who didn't get a chance to see this ahead of time, an opportunity for us to acquire a property and to kind of take control of the redevelopment of that property. So with that said, I'll entertain a motion on first reading.
Council President, actually, I just had a question. Are we able to, since they can't see it, did we say exactly where it was?
We didn't yet. We can do that during our council comment.
Okay, all right. I'll make a motion to move on, first reading, an introduction of ordinance 20-049.
And I'm sorry, it does actually state the
It does
address
state
in
it.
it. So anybody who's Googled it at this point knows which property we're talking about. So we have a motion.
I'll second it.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips? Yes. Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty?
Yes.
Passes 5-0. Ordinance 6 is also not on the public's agenda. It's also known as ordinance 20-050, an ordinance authorizing the Township of Hamilton to enter into an agreement with Hamilton Associates LP and R. Little River II LLC, its successors and/or signs, for the acquisition of improvements and property located at 1750 White Horse Mercerville Road and designated as Block 1922, Lot 7, Hamilton, New Jersey, for the purchase price of $750,000.
And this is the same property as the previous ordinance. So I'll entertain a motion on that.
I move to introduce ordinance number 20-050 on first reading.
I'll second that.
Madam Clerk?
Mr. Whalen?
Yes.
Mr. Carabelli?
Yes.
Ms. Phillips? Yes. Mr. Reparo?
Yes.
Mr. Ty? Passes 5-0.
Okay, and now we will go ahead and open it up to the public. And this is the opportunity for anyone wishing to comment or ask council about any topic to do so. It's *6 if you wish to comment. All right. Hello, Janice. You are live.
I was thinking about the $20,000, it's just really down and remember that taxpayers have to pay for something that's interesting as super technical, I think it's really something the taxpayers have, or something really, or just, I don't know,
Well, the plaintiffs have stated publicly that they felt it was important for them to defend their First Amendment rights of free speech, and so they pursued that. And is it unfortunate that this is going to cost the township $40,000? It is absolutely unfortunate. So I agree with you.
And to add to that, Ms. Janice, this is Alyssa, had we not settled, just think about how much more it would have cost the township if we had gone to trial. Right, and
Thank you. we're happy to, and we're looking forward to hearing a report from Councilman Carabelli and Councilman Pipero on that subject.
I really think we should have some kind of celebration to, whether it's January 1st, New Year's Day, but, people with the church, I'll get out church and stuff, but I would like to be there. This as a celebration that this has finally happened, and I really think we should have some kind of, and to honor Rich Kramer as being the chief, and I really think we should have some kind of plaque made that Hamilton's fire consolidation has happened as of, January 1st, 2021, and have it hung someplace in the municipal building so that we know when this happened, but it's such an outstanding achievement.
I see members of the administration taking notes on your suggestions. And I wholeheartely agree. It was a milestone, many years in the making. Our firefighters, worked very hard and sacrificed to move that to the point where we could act on it. There are a lot of people who have put in a lot of work. Our council fire consolidation subcommittee, led this year by Councilman Pivero and Councilman Carabelli, have put in many hours on this issue. There are a lot of folks who have put in a lot of work. There's still more work to do, but getting that approval was a major milestone. And Janice, I'm looking forward to celebrating this milestone and this accomplishment. That's going to save the taxpayers a lot of money with you and with everyone else. So I look forward to that. I think it's probably going to be on January 1st that we'll be celebrating, but hopefully you'll be able to make it.
Yeah, make sure it's after 12, so I can get out of church and get there.
I'm making a note of that.
I think it's 12:30, so I don't have to get there and take the preach this way long-winded. But, I mean, indeed, I want to be there because it's so wonderful that it's happening, and I really think that we really need to have a plaque made that this has happened, and this is such an achievement.
Well, Janice, this was your claim to fame too, because you personally went out and collected signatures to help make this happen. So thank you for the part that you played in this accomplishment.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad that you remembered me. Okay, thank you so much. That makes me feel good. And last I want to say, I must commend the council for your integrity, your honesty. You're not being underhanded or sneaky. You're such a bunch of good, sincere people. Nothing like the Trenton Council. I am so happy I'm under your rule and not under the rule of the Trenton Council. They need to look at you and take you as an example of how to run a council. So congratulations on being such wonderful, wonderful people, explaining everything and laying it all out for us who don't know what's going on to understand it. And don't get upset because we ask about it again and again. You are so kind and good and sincere, and thank you for being those kind of people.
Oh, I appreciate that, Janice. Thank you for those kind words.
And I'm now officially done.
All right. Thanks. See you next time.
Okay.
Next up is Pam Smith, Ward 103.
Pam Smith, you're live.
My name is Chantel Phoenix. I'm a homeowner and taxpayer. I reside at 4315 South Broad Street, Yardville. My topic this evening to the council is my concerns and Brown section plans. I'm a true believer that a change is only as strong as the legislation, and I'm concerned with the revitalization of the Brown neighborhood. I moved to Hamilton in 1988, and when I moved into Brown, I was living outside of the apartment complex that we had. I was still 90% home ownership. Now we're trying it down to more like a 50-50, maybe even less. But it's the homeowners that down to 4, 5, and 6 generations that really have an investment into the community. And sometimes we struggle with when you start to have a migration or a shift in the neighborhood where you start to have more renters and homeowners. I mean, it just is what it is. Homeowners are invested for 30 years, at least 15 years. And I just had two small suggestions I think we're doing baby steps to where everyone can take accountability. The township, the homeowners, and the landlords. My one small issue with Brownie Park, I think by the township treating the Brownie Park as the same as treat Veterans Park, Coulter Park, and any other one of our nice parks and towns, it will go a long way with the younger generation coming up. Even the ones that are there that moved in from the city. Here's an example. Nottingham won the state basketball title. I think that was the first time in Hamilton Township history. I know we brought home a lot of titles. I grew up in Hamilton School District. But we have in that park, in Brownie Park, we have the basketball courts that are dangerous. They're out of level, and out of whack. And I think something like that is really those basketball courts were put in there last time we had it in the back year at Gilmore. And I think now, in the position we're in, with the Democrat mayor and the council being Democrat, we might not have the opportunity for them to get in and use these things. So that's on the smaller, right? But then the other thing, I think that if we could not attack so much to hold the landlord accountable, I believe the township has a policy in place where a few years back, you guys had established that it would be registration of some sort for landlords that were running brown. So I think if we can just pay attention to them and say, hey, I know when I was young, my mom would pick up ordinance and buy grass with us in the backyard, or at least a warning person, and after that, you got some time to buy. So we can't allow these landlords just to receive a turn of a buck. You put whatever you want to put in a place, but then you don't have a responsibility to I was passing out flyers this last year before the event we had out there. I'm telling you, it hurt my heart. I won't down myself in the video. Because, and I was like, no, but I still go there to go to the place in Park Lane. And some of these places, I couldn't even tell whether it was occupied or not. So, if we could pay attention to the landlord and say, hey, some positive nudging, we're taking note that your property is being unkept, or the grass is so high, or things are going out. I think so in a combination of the township, the homeowner, whether it's the renter, a landlord or owner, and the tenant together, we start doing. I listen to the older women that's out there. I had 4 generations. Starting with my mom, I have a grandmother now. We're still in Hamilton. And the older folks are crying out. They don't have the capability that I had to maybe speak out to the younger generation. So these people are playing taxes 50 years. So I think collectively as the administration and as the homeowners and the people who are migrating, we owe them at least to say, you know what, we have to do something to help you out, because I think if they're being silenced, and then it's looking like all the problems is kind of not showing. And I can tell you, just from growing up out there, Redwood, Brentwood, and Reynolds, that's not the case. It just looks that way. So I will hope that while we got this opportunity to figure it out, the council will start to look at some things, around there. It definitely needs help at this point. So I thank you guys for the time, and hopefully with me trying to be the mouthpiece and helping out, I learned a little more about the city and how the government works, and together we can get some things done.
Now, thank you, I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name. Mr. Penance? I'm sorry?
It's P-E-N-I-X.
Oh, Mr. Penix, all right. So, thank you for your comments. I just want to respond to you because I know that all of us on this council share your concern about the Bromley neighborhood. And I can tell you that this administration, since Mayor Martin has gotten into office, has probably paid more attention to the Bromley neighborhood in the last 9 months than, has been given in the last 9 years. So some of the, so basically, this mayor is working, and this administration and this council is working to bring jobs and housing to Bromley. And there are several initiatives that the township is undertaking in order to bring jobs and housing to the Bromley neighborhood. But even stepping back from that, talking about maintaining the neighborhood, maintaining Bromley Park. There was recently a day of action where the township sent 40 employees to do work throughout the Bromley neighborhood and to do a cleanup. So there's a heightened level of awareness and effort that's being expended in the neighborhood at this time, and I do think that over time you're going to see the cumulative effect of those efforts. Additionally, there's an effort underway. We're making real progress finally on the Bromley fire site, and you are going to be seeing the township partnering with community partners to bring modern, affordable housing to that location. So that's something that we're looking forward to. That's something that was slowed down in part because the courts were closed. Otherwise, we would have wanted to move even more quickly than we have, if not for the fact that the courts were closed due to COVID. There's a concerted, multi-pronged effort underway at this time to make Bromley an industrial hub. And there are efforts underway to bring hundreds of jobs to Bromley to reinvigorate some of the older industrial properties, to bring modern industries, biofuel. There's a company called BioVert that has been recruited by this administration to occupy the shut down Siemens property. By the time that gets fully up and running, they're going to have as many as 300 jobs in that location, and the administration has gotten a commitment from that employer to hire locally. There's the brownfield. I forget the name of the company that used to occupy the brownfield, but there is going to be an effort made to clean up the brownfield over there. PrimeTel is another company that's going to be occupying one of our older industrial buildings over there. They are going to be, they've committed to hiring locally. Broadway Movers is going to be moving into Bromley at the location of Nottingham and East State Street. Governor McGreevy's reentry program is going to be locating in Bromley at the Mill One property. So there's a lot of effort being put into revitalizing the Bromley effort. You are going to be seeing the fruits of those efforts in the neighborhood. Frankly, I'm proud of the progress that this administration and this mayor have made in such a short time with our Director of Economic Development, Fred Dumont. Really just a tremendous amount of progress in a very short time that's going to result in hundreds of jobs in our Bromley neighborhood. So really good things on the horizon for Bromley. I'm sorry, Madam Clerk, did you?
Sorry, I didn't catch Mr. Penix's first name.
I didn't either. His last name's Penix. Is he still on the line?
Yes. I was just saying, thank you, and it does show, I'm just here to, kind of create a mouth for those older residents that can't speak. And it does show what the administration is doing now, and we understand that it's going to take time.
Mr.
And Bromley voted for, Jeff Martin, so we do appreciate it. it isn't going unnoticed.
We appreciate. Thank you very much, Mr. Pennington. Could I get your first name again? Chantel?
Yeah, like Sean, but Sean, S-H-E-N. Chantel, like Sean Tell School.
Sean, okay. I think we got it. Thank you very much. And if your time's up for now, but if you do want to come back for 2 more minutes after everyone else has had a chance to speak, you are more than welcome to do so. And thank you for joining us tonight. The River Keepers.
Yes, hello, how are you?
Good, thank you. Can you give us your name and address, please?
Sure, my name is Brandon Stein. I work for the Delaware River Keeper Network. We're at 925 Canal Street in Bristol, PA.
Okay.
And I'm calling just to make a comment on ordinance number 4, known as the Patterson Avenue Landfill Development Zone. And, we've been following this for a while, and the Delaware River Keeper Network supports the redevelopment plan on this old landfill. It's, it'll bring that tax ratables or has the potential, but it also has the opportunity to make sure that the site gets further cleaned up and capping and just has less of an impact on the environment.
Yeah.
We had hired, I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, it's certainly a project that a lot of us, I'm very excited about, to bring a renewable energy project like this to Hamilton, which is going to bring both, revenue to the township. It's going to put a former landfill to good use, and it's going to, provide renewable energy to whomever. I don't know who the end user is going to be, but the more renewable energy, the better. I share your excitement about that program.
We had hired a New Jersey state licensed LSRP just to take a look at the historic records that we had on the Patterson Avenue landfill. And of course, the township's consultants, worked, and she had prepared, I'm sorry. And there were just a couple of things, and I will share with the township, and I'll send it to the board secretary, council secretary, and if you want, the report. And it's basically just some observations and some considerations that this LSRP felt were important for the township. They're pursuing, continuing to redevelop this site. Just some considerations, and this LSRP is Excel Environmental Resources. They've done similar projects in Pennington and other communities around the state. So it's likely beneficial just for the township engineering department and the council to see this. And it might give maybe information for no, but I'll definitely share that. But this LSRP brings up 2 points in their investigation. I'll just read them real quickly. It's just 2 sentences.
Be quick, because you have like 2 more minutes.
Okay. The township area being redeveloped does not include the entire site, the entire Patterson, just from Clancy notice area. And why is the western portion of the PNL not included in the spec area? That was one question. And, I don't know if I imagine the consultant would be here to answer that, but that's one thing that he observed.
Okay.
The second thing is the area in the redevelopment is not specific with regard to the redevelopment of the actual reuses.
Never is.
I hear you say that it's for a solar complex?
Yes.
Okay.
That's.
The only thing I would add to that is, would it be great if whoever bids on that could have a caveat in there that it would be good to have Hamilton Township high school students looking for engineering degrees to have some sort of a partnership where they can come and be a part of that, site inspection or whatever, within reason, but that would be a great way to introduce kids to solar and green energy.
Well, anytime we can create opportunities for our high school students, we're certainly open to those ideas. So, I know we'll be happy to take that under consideration. As far as the parameters of the redevelopment area, I believe that they included the land that they needed to include just because of ownership, and didn't include more land than necessary. I don't know the exact parameters of the final redevelopment there. It may expand beyond those borders.
And one LSRP I've talked to had done some work for Bordentown, and through a grant program, we got some federal grants because part of their redevelopment, their AINR, was for recreational use. I don't know if this is appropriate for recreational use.
No, it's really not. It's in a semi-industrial area, former landfill. We like the solar field for this site. Really, it's an ideal use. It's basically a brownfield. So, as you know, listen, you're out of time on your first go round, but we can bring it back for 2 more minutes if you have more.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Bianco. Hello. This is public comment.
Okay. Mr. Ty, Joe Bianco, 321 Atlantic Avenue. I just wanted to follow up with you about our previous discussions regarding the firearm permits being donated to the police department. I still have not heard from you, as you indicated during the last council session, that you didn't get a chance to respond to my email, which was sent with the answer the July council session. You indicated that you would. Had a number of questions. They've still gone unanswered.
So the chief sent us an update regarding the status of the effort to get caught up with the licenses. And as I think you know, we've seen a big uptick, to put it mildly, in the number of applications that we've received. I think, what was it, double?
We were at 1,800 last month, and we only had 1,200 all last year.
Yeah, so a large uptick. What the chief is doing is dedicating additional man hours to personnel to processing. The other thing that the chief pointed out, though, is that not all of the time frame that, when someone submits an application, it's not 30 days from the point at which they submit the application. It's 30 days from the point at which the application is approved. And there are a lot of actions that need to be taken during the processing of these applications that are really out of our hands as a governmental body. The state has to do their background checks, and also the applicants themselves are required to respond as a part of the application, and that all takes time. So the chief just pointed out to me that although, yes, it's taking more than 30 days, it's taking more than 30 days from the point of the application.
The law states, as I indicated, and, maybe we should go over this with the chief, it is 30 days from the date of the application. With you, there's a position is that it's 30 days from when the application is approved to issue. Then you open up for any township within the state, small or just for any reason, and just say, entire process that the residents of the state of New Jersey have to go through is infringement. Beyond your power, I understand. But what the state has done now is put more pressure on every single township and city in the state to come up with, to take more in the manpower to essentially have people exercise a God-given right. That is only recognized in the Constitution. It clearly states in resident applicants for 30 days to process 45 days from if you're out of state. I was approved, they couldn't even get 30 days, they couldn't even get 30 days after I was approved. And yeah, I understand there's an update, but nowhere in the law that the state goes by doesn't state that there's any, alcohol, like there's an uptick in application that, a township or city will get a compliance.
Okay.
When was the last time that the township was in compliance?
I can't answer that question.
Council President, time?
Listen, your time is up, and I thank you for your comment. You're welcome to come back for 2 more minutes, and we're going to move on to the next caller. Raphael. Okay. Raphael, you're on the line.
Hello, council. Thank you for accepting my comment. My name is Raphael Cologne, and I'm a proud resident of Hamilton, New Jersey. We've all visited and survived for this time. It's been a pandemic that closed us. We have been through a lot of challenges in 2020. We've been experiencing some conditions and preparation to help bring people together. I feel a happy to be on the forefront of setting an important an example of united community. Hamilton is rich in diversity of culture. We have people living and working in Hamilton from all over the world.
Raphael. Hey, Raphael, can I just interrupt you and ask you to speak more directly into your telephone? Because we're all trying to hear you through a speakerphone in this room.
Yeah,
That's better. Thank you.
Can I start over?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and give you the opportunity to start over.
Okay, I apologize.
That's okay, go ahead.
My name is Raphael Cologne, and I'm a proud resident of Hamilton, New Jersey. We have all been living and surviving these turbulent times. Between the pandemic and protests, we have been through a lot of challenges in 2020. It's been a year of traditional separation. To help bring people back together, I feel that Hamilton should be on the forefront of setting an important example of unity. Hamilton is rich with diversity and culture. Yet we have people living and working in Hamilton from all over the world. We need to take this opportunity to bring people together and recognize the beautiful diversity that Hamilton has, and it's such a great place to live. Therefore, I'm proposing that Hamilton Township, New Jersey recognizes Indigenous Peoples Day on the second Monday or Saturday of October each year. Indigenous Peoples Day is a holiday that celebrates and honors Native American people and commemorates their histories and cultures. The holiday recognizes the legacy and impact of colonialism and Native communities. It celebrates cultures, contributions, and resilience of contemporary nations. The indigenous people do so much for America in the world. They help with the environment by fighting climate change and build resilience to natural disasters. Yet their rights aren't always protected. While indigenous people won't occupy a huge corner of the world's surface area, they safeguard 80% of the world's remaining biodiversity. The source of National Geographic. The Iroquois Confederacy, founded by the great peacemaker in 1142, was participatory democracy on Earth. In 1988, the U.S. Senate paid tribute for the resolution that said, the Confederate nation has the original 13 colonies. Also, one republic was influenced by the political system developed by the Iroquois Confederacy, as were many of the democratic principles which were incorporated in the Constitution itself. If we can adopt their laws, we should honor them as people. Today, there are over 5 million Native Americans in the United States, 78% of whom live outside reservations. When the United States was created and established, Native American tribes were generally considered semi-independent nations, as they generally lived in communities separate from white settlers. Indigenous Peoples Day will celebrate their identity in the country they call home. When other indigenous people come from all over other countries, they should have something that allows them to celebrate their culture as well. As Puerto Rican, I'm of Taino descent. I'm a quarter indigenous, and I'm proud of who I am. I'm here to offer a partnership for hand-in-hand with council to get this mission accomplished and bring people together. In Newark, in 2017, the first municipality in New Jersey to recognize Indigenous Peoples Day. Last year, Princeton passed a proclamation to recognize Indigenous Peoples Day. Over 130 cities in America celebrate this great holiday. Let us participate in celebrating great people. As a homeowner in this great town, I ask your help to achieve this goal. Let us honor our Indigenous people with your help and support. We could move this process along and celebrate this October. Council, can anybody help me with this?
Thank you for your comments. And I don't know if any members of council wish to say anything in response.
Sir, I'd just like to say that it was a very well-prepared speech that you gave. I also am in support. I think that we need to have some type of conversation regarding this. And I look forward to future conversations with you. I did receive your email, and I will be getting back to you very shortly.
Council President, I just want to also say the same. I think Ralph and I have been playing some phone tag, and I apologize for that. But yeah, definitely, I think we would like to move this conversation. So thank you for calling in tonight and for us to get the opportunity to hear your words and wisdom there. Thank you.
Yes, Ralph, Councilman Whalen. Thank you for your comments. Obviously, you were very well prepared, and it doesn't sound to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're not looking to eliminate and replace Columbus Day. You're just looking to add the engine that. That's how I took it. Yes. And I have no problem either having a conversation, and I appreciate your comments.
Hey, Raphael, you're out of time at this time. You are welcome to come back for 2 more minutes after we work our way through first-time commenters. Thank you again for calling in. What did the last 4 extension, last 4?
Hello?
Judith?
Yes, hi.
Hi, can you give us your name and address, please?
Yes, Judy Traegler, Laurel Court, Hamilton.
Okay, Judy, go ahead.
I'm going to bring up Trenton Waterworks. I know there is a lawsuit against Trenton Waterworks with several of our adjacent neighbors. I was very happy to see that something was going forward with this because of the history. So my question is, I have a couple of questions. Does the public get updates of the progress that the lawsuit is making, or the setbacks it's encountering, what its status is? And the reason I'm thinking of this is because I got my water bill today, and it doubled. So which brings me to part 2, is how is this public utility justifying doubling people's bills in one cycle? And is Hamilton doing anything about that?
So I'm going to let our business administrator respond to your question.
Yes, we were made aware that happened to a number of customers of Trenton Water Works, so we reached out to them and didn't have a direct conversation with them there. However, they did leave us a message indicating that they have been very behind in their billing. So I think if you look at the bill, you'll see it's probably for 2 quarters instead of just 1 quarter, and that's why it's doubled. And, you know, I'm not quite sure when the last bill you got was, but it was probably sometime in the beginning of the summer or maybe even before that for prior usage. So it may just be the consumption was higher because of the time period, but they said that, I'm sorry.
It was June 2nd, 2020, and then I don't believe there was a bill in between, and then it doubled.
Right. Yeah, so you may have been billed for more than 1 quarter's worth is what I'm saying. So they had indicated that they were going to be sending out letters, because I think that you're not the only ones that are going to get bills. They're trying to catch up from being behind in the billing. So we're going to keep on top of it and keep in communication with them and push them to make sure that they're communicating with you, our customers, so that, you know, you at least know what's going on. So they've had a number of problems, as you well know, but we're here to help in this customer service issue, because, you know, that's difficult when an entity like that gets far behind on their billing. So it's onerous.
Looking at the bill, that we are one of the customers or households that happened to.
I would, somewhere on the bill, and I don't have a bill in front of me, it's gonna list your rate. It's gonna list your rate. So what I would do is I would compare the rate on your current bill to the rate on your previous bill and see if that's changed. I don't think they've changed the rate.
They may have changed the rate slightly, but
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me to be able to direct you to where, but I believe it should have your rate. And, you know,
well, you know, if you want to call my office, I'll be happy to try to go over the bill with you, and we might even be, right, and then, you know, but you're really going to get answers from Trenton Water Works, their customer service, and, but I can help you at least read it and see what the charges are for.
Okay, so I'm not really clear about calling Trenton Water Works, so what number do I call to talk to you?
Let me give you my office number, 609-890-3599.
and that's our business administrator, Kathy Monzo.
You can call me.
But it's a little ironic that Hamilton and other municipalities are moving along with this lawsuit, and then this happens.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was a little coincidental.
It doesn't inspire confidence, that's for sure.
That's right.
Not at all.
And so, our township attorney actually wanted to comment
Yes.
in response to your concerns as well.
With regard to the lawsuit, I'm representing the township along with counsel for Lawrence, representing Lawrence, and counsel for Ewing, representing Ewing. Hopewell Township, I think, will get in at some point. Currently, the current status is that we want our motion to intervene into the lawsuit, so our complaint has been filed. They have time within which to respond and get an answer. There is the order to show cause hearing with Judge Luigi on Thursday for NJTEP's order to show cause as to why, to enforce basically the administrative consent orders against Trenton Water Works in Trenton. So that's Thursday. Insofar as what's going on in court, that is always public record. So I am sure at relevant points, we can put on the website important information. But generally speaking, litigation is slow moving. So you won't get necessarily a daily or even monthly update, unfortunately. That's just the life of a litigator.
But called Hamilton about this, and there was a very long reference number that your employee had given me. Could you post that number for everyone to and probably the website of where, instead of people calling the mayor's office or you, that we could just look on the Hamilton website, look for that reference number.
The docket number, you mean?
Docket number and the link to where we can follow it, so we can see what the updates are.
Yeah, I can see if I can do that. Usually, actually, to tell you the truth, since I'm a lawyer, I access e-courts because I'm a lawyer. I don't know if the public can access e-courts. I have to find out about that. But, I mean, certainly, I mean, I will talk with some people and see if, for example, we can post our complaint, which is a public document, and post other things that might be of interest to the public. So that.
I know the public was very interested in this topic because there are many people that have been following this for years.
Hey Judy, we definitely share your concern. You're out of time for now, but you are welcome to come back for 2 more minutes after we give everybody else a chance to talk.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judy.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye. All right, we're back to Bianco. Mr. Bianco.
How you doing?
Good.
I just wanted to read verbatim the law, states here, in this introduction, firearm applications. The application for staying together with a fee of $2 for the application for the firearms purchase direct identification card, together with a fee of $5, shall be delivered to those the licensing authority who shall investigate the same, and unless good cause for the denial thereof appears, shall grant the permit or ID card or goal. If application has been made, therefore, within 30 days from the date of receipt of the application for residents of this state, and within 45 days for non-resident applicant. So I don't see how that says that it's 30 days from any decision.
Okay.
The application is made.
Listen, here's the bottom line. The township is dedicating additional resources to get caught up, to get anyone who applies for their gun permit as quickly as possible. So we are working to address the issue. It's not something that we're gonna turn around overnight. It's not possible to turn it around overnight because, as I've said, that there are portions of the application process that are not in our hands. It's, also under the jurisdiction of the state. But we are, like I said, we are devoting additional resources to rectifying and clearing the backlog. We have had a spike in the applications this year. So just as in previous years, we've seen, like last year, we had a spike in the Oprah requests, and we dedicated additional resources to clear that. The additional man hours needed to take care of those issues. We're doing the same thing here.
Okay, well, here's just one other comment. The process that you're referring to, with the other processes that happen in the state level, that happens prior to the township receiving, president of the township getting involved. So the application is made, there's 2 references that fill out something, that fingerprint happened, and then the state police do their background check, and then it comes to Hamilton. So all of that other work is already done. Once that's done in the township's hands, and they're still need to comply with the law as it's constructed. And I've made it clear I don't agree with it, but it's beyond your control. I understand that. Is there a timetable as to when you foresee what the police department procedures getting caught up? I understand it would be that, but do they have an expectation with all parties?
I don't have any information to that effect.
So, just arbitrarily,
It's not arbitrary. We are devoting additional resources to solving the problem as quickly as possible. We're acknowledging that we have a backlog, and we are dedicating the resources that we have available to us to take care of that backlog.
Okay.
All right, have a good night.
Once again, Council, thank you for taking my question and my concerns here. I wanted to know.
Mr. Penix, could you just go ahead and identify yourself again for the record?
I'm sorry, yes, Suncut Penix. I live at 4315
Okay, thank you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Pretty bad on the concern with the homeowners opposed to renters, which I don't think there's, we should differentiate or treat them differently. But I want to know, is there any way we can have a certain effort to, the two-part question, to get a listing or have a number of which properties are rented as investment properties opposed to homeowners, if so, maybe like something that the public can see, so we can kind of get a handle.
Hey, Mr. Chantel, Mr. Penix, hey, Mr. Penix, could you, try to speak more directly into your telephone, because the whole room is trying to hear you through speakerphone? That is better, thank you. So you're asking for a listing of all rentals in the township?
Well, not all rentals, I just want to know if you can get the township, maybe, because I thought there was some kind of, policy that past over years that the township that came with that, every year, the, landlord would have to register that he had a rental property.
They do.
Is there any way that the public can know that, okay, this landlord is up for his certificate of occupancy? Or even if the public don't, that's my question, would the public be able to see that? And if not, should we maybe have someone paying attention to the landlord that is behind 1 or 2 years on having their, certificate of occupancy, and then come up with some kind of fix for that? Like, okay, after you go next 3 months, and 4 years, you haven't had your property inspected, you haven't, so I don't know what the township requires exactly. So I'm kind of just like, going things out there to see what you guys have, but I think that would help. At least they know, like, okay, it's not just about the money. But now that about the township, and if the township go and pay attention to say, well, this needs to be done exactly.
Okay, so your time is up. We do want to address your concern. I think our township attorney had a response for you.
Yes, Mr. Penix, we do, our housing inspectors are on top of this, and we are actually going through the Board of Public Officers. We are reviewing properties that are not taken care of, and we are working towards making sure that everyone in this township is up to date on the code violations, are up to date on, certificate of occupancies. So, but it's a big town, and so we are focused on making sure that everyone is living up to the expectations we have for our landowners.
Understood, thank you, and I don't think you need to pay more than the Brownie, but you probably want to have more renters in the Brownie section of Hamilton than you say Square. So I thank you guys for paying attention.
Well, listen, we appreciate you calling in, Mr. Penix, and we thank you for your participation tonight.
Thank you.
Okay, so with that, we will move on to council comments, starting with Councilman Whalen.
Thank you, Council President. Just a couple items. Recently, naturally, the state, opened up to 25% indoor dining recently, which has been long awaited for with many of our different restaurants throughout Hamilton Township. I had the pleasure of attending a Restaurant Association meeting last week that was held at the Nottingham Firehouse, where Director Dumont addressed some of the association's questions and comments and some of the things that they're looking for as far as help. It was well attended. There was some great conversation. They were looking for some help from the township to help promote indoor dining. And there was a lot of good conversation on both sides, through the township and through the association. And hopefully we can make some strides to where we can get to 50% occupancy in the near future. I realize that their businesses depend on that. The winter months are going to be here before we know it, so I can understand their frustration, but in the same token, we got to work together to make sure that all our businesses, whether it's the restaurants or retail, that are living up to making sure that everybody is following the proper procedures as far as regarding the pandemic, to make sure that not only the other people that are dying or other people that are going to different stores throughout the town, that they feel safe. So that's important. Second thing I just want to comment on, I've seen recently that at the Hamilton shelter, not that he's been adopted yet, but it looks like we've had another one of the animals, the dogs move on, which was Petey. It looks like he's going to basically an extended obedience training, if I'm not mistaken, and hopefully that'll prepare him to be adopted in the near future. From everything I've seen, he's made some... All the dogs. I was just informed, I thought there was one left.
Well, hold on now.
But wait,
Hold on now.
can I finish, and then maybe you guys can comment? How's that?
Yeah, I didn't want there to be confusion. Is the shelter empty?
No, we have.
Okay, so all the dogs are not gone. All the dogs who were in residence on January 1st are gone. Councilman Whalen, please continue.
Thank you. I was going to allude to that at the end, that there was, I thought, one dog left, but I appreciate the help. Again, you know, I think that's a reflection on everybody involved. You know, from Danielle, our shelter manager, to the volunteers who have taken the time to get this particular dog into the position where hopefully, you know, with some extensive training, that he is adoptable. I've had the pleasure of actually meeting the dog, and we're all a little apprehensive at times, especially coming up to an animal that might have had a history. And I had a pretty good experience with him. So hopefully, maybe in the next few months, we hear another success story coming out of the shelter. So, and that being said, yes, there is, from what I understood, and was confirmed, that there is one dog left, and that's none. Petey was it. Okay. Petey's gone, and I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much, and everybody have a safe night.
Thank you, Councilman Whalen. Sorry for the interruption.
Thanks. That's okay. I'm used to it. I have to work.
Councilwoman Phillips.
Thank you, Council President. First of all, I just want to welcome everyone back to school. I'm, in my third week of remote teaching, and I know all the families out there, and in this room, we all have children who are participating in remote learning. But that also brought to my attention, and I know the community's been sharing on social media and with the township, problems with the Optimum internet. So I just wanted to follow up with that, because obviously that's a big concern, as we don't really have another choice right now to get our kids their education and get the teacher. You know, this influences both sides. So I just wanted to inform the public that we are seeking an investigation as township with mayors from other towns with the Board of Public Utilities. So while I see people posting on social media and sharing their struggles, if you could just report it to Hamstat, that's information that we can collect and add to that. So, because this time especially, it's just, it's absolutely necessary. I was going to talk about the dining, but Councilman Whalen did a great job with that. And I just wanted to comment on 2 ordinances that we introduced tonight that I was very excited about. And one is the landfill that, read the details, was capped in 1979. So it's taken 40 years, and to see it turned into a solar farm with renewable energy facilities, it's great to see that, and also then to see the possible purchase of an area on Whitehurst, Mercerville Road that I have driven past for all the time I lived here. So I think there's some great changes coming in Hamilton, and thank you guys for the great participation tonight. So thanks again, and we'll see you next 2 weeks.
Thank you, Councilwoman Phillips. Councilman Carabelli.
Thank you, Council President. Just wanted to comment on also the restaurant meeting that we had last week. I was in that meeting, and I was happy to attend. I thought Director Dumont did an excellent job of fielding some of the questions and concerns. It was a larger group, and I felt that they were very engaged. They made some good suggestions. I know that the director is moving on some of them as we speak. One of the hidden treasures that, I don't even think it's not a hidden treasure, one of the treasures that Hamilton does offer are the fine dining establishments that we have, whether they're chain or family owned. And I take part frequently, and I think all of us here in Hamilton and in our Mercer County area should take part in some of the great cuisine that we have here. So I think that, as we get further along, hopefully that uptick in the indoor dining, and also just the encouraging folks that at the establishments that we have in place, that it is safe to dine there indoors, that they have been seen by our health department, and is a positive step forward. And that was some of the conversations that took place at that meeting. So, in addition, I'll defer to our Vice President for the update on the fire consolidation. I just want to compliment him on all his expertise. He's helped me in this process just through the subcommittee, I was on that call, and it was a big milestone here in Hamilton. I know we've been talking about it for years, and exciting news brings us another step closer, and we'll continue to work on that momentum. And I think we're meeting this week, right, for our subcommittee on the 17th. And then finally, I just want to mention I had the pleasure of attending the officer swearing in with Council President Tai and also Councilman Whalen for 2 officers that are now headed over to the academy. It was a very moving, very nice ceremony. The chief was there. He's excited. It was good to see those 2 individuals, Officer Lance Mutek and Officer Roosevelt Stone Jr. So that brings our number up to 171. We had a couple of retirements, so that was a nice event, and I was happy to see that. 2 very eager young men that were retained by our Hamilton Police Force, so excited to see that. Just want to wish everyone, thank you for participating tonight, and wish everyone a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Mr. Vice President.
Well, you guys didn't leave me much to say. I won't duplicate very much, except don't forget our local businesses. While we are starting to come out of the woods, our local businesses are still needed our support, so please keep them in mind. As Councilman Carabelli mentioned, our fire consolidation application was approved by the local finance board last week. It's a big milestone. It's been a long time coming. I appreciate the kind words. That was not anything of me, though. That was, everything is a direct reflection of our team. Everyone from the mayor to my council partner, the assistant business administrator, Mark Maranko, all the men from the FMBA that helped out, the attorneys, personnel, everybody had a big part in that. We put everything together, and we're very thankful that is passed. we're hoping to get a contract done in the near future. We still have our open and transparent negotiations going on. I think we're going to get to an agreement hopefully sooner rather than later. And you're going to see our new fire department introduced January 1st with a nice little ceremony that was already alluded to earlier today. We're all looking forward to it. It's been a long time coming and a lot of work. Thank you again to the mayor and all his staff for everything that they have done to make this happen, the support of the people, and most importantly, our first responders. Thank you for all the work that you've put in. That's all I have. I just want to say thank you to everybody for calling in. It was nice to hear some new voices on the phone with some new ideas, and we appreciate and we hope you continue calling in and communicating with us on the community's needs. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Papero. I think that the theme of the night for this meeting, as Councilwoman Phillips alluded to, is economic development and how proactive this mayor and his administration are being in encouraging redevelopment, the type of redevelopment that Councilman Carabelli and I, along with the mayor, have been talking about for our 3 years now. Since before we were elected, we wanted to see smart redevelopment, and a big, really like a centerpiece of this township is that White Horse Shopping Center, the old ShopRite that has been empty for so long. And I'm just so pleased to see this come before council today. I thank our township attorney for her diligence, and I know it was your due diligence that you didn't want to put it before us until you were absolutely sure that it was ready for us to consider. And so for the public, that's why there was a delay, but we appreciate that kind of delay where you're doing your due diligence. And this is really going to give us the opportunity to redevelop a key piece of property in our township in the way that we would like to see it developed, in a way that will be beneficial to our community. Fire consolidation, major milestone, very proud of everyone for the work that they've put in, as I said earlier, from our firefighters to our administration representatives. They're really, Council Papero did a pretty good job of naming names. There are too many names for me to name, but very proud of the work that everyone has put into that. It's a big moment for this township, and it's going to save our taxpayers a lot of money for many years to come as we get this done. We still have work to do, as Councilman Papero alluded to. And another major milestone, which Councilman Whalen talked about, which is getting all of the long-term residents of our animal shelter into better accommodations. Because, as many improvements as have been made to our shelter, I still don't want to see any animals residing there for any longer than they have to. So I thank the employees of our health department, from Director Fitzgerald on down to the employees at the shelter, for their efforts, and the volunteers who did go the extra mile to help find other arrangements for these animals, and played a key role there and made a lot of effort. So I'm glad our police are now back at full strength with the 2 new officers that we swore in. And finally, Friday was 9/11, and we had our annual commemoration of that. And I want to thank everyone who attended. It's obviously always a solemn occasion where we come together with those members of the community who lost loved ones and who were affected, with our first responders. And I just want to thank, again, the members of the administration who worked to put this event together. Cashel, in the VA's office did a lot of work, and Kate. And also, Director Markley and his team, who had Veterans Park in tip-top shape, for this event, and I appreciate that. There was a large turnout, and we continue to mourn together, the loss. And so I thank everyone who participated in that. And with that, I thank everyone for participating tonight. And with that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
I should acknowledge your MC skills. Should acknowledge your MC skills. They gotta do a better thing with the microphone.